Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Bricks. Brick shots with Billy Antonio. For 50 more bricks. Ballin' like a with all these bricks. Welcome back, man. Episode 128 of Brick Shots with Billy Antonio. Welcome back. We're going to do a new thing. We usually give an intro to everybody, but we're going to go ahead and just start right into it. Antonio, today your team let go of Matthew Judon, gave him up for a third-round pick to Atlanta. Do we like that?
No. And I want Chris to know I'm glad because Chris thought it was just Belichick doing dumbass shit. Well, that was dumb, But I get it. We only had him 4 games last year. He was asking for 15 game money, so I get it. But you also got to look like out of the 114 games he done played, he had 66 and a half sacks. So it's like, and he was probably he was probably top 3 on our ain't no problem. He was top 3 on our defense. So and that's the only we sucked offensively last year, but we didn't start. We were in a lot of games defensively. Like we were still giving people problems until they just had to keep coming back onto the field because the offense was.
There was only y'all got blown out once, right? I think it was
by the Cowboys.
By the Cowboys, that's right.
Yeah, by the Cowboys. That was the only thing, bro. Like we held Miami to like 17. So we played defense, and he was a part of 4 of those games. But I get it, and we're terrible. And I think it's time to get into the realm of our owner just cooler than Jerry Jones, but he got some of the similar ways of Jerry Jones. Like, hey, bro, fuck all that paying. I ain't paying you shit. And we gonna because we didn't pay Brady like that. Like everybody, like, hey, he took them pay cuts. Why would the GOAT have to take a pay cut? Take somebody else's money, or we got the money. We got the money, bro. Just pay these people. But it's gonna hurt us. I don't think. Man, I hate to say it, but I think we're gonna be rebuilding for probably the next 2 seasons. And that's just where it's at because you see, like we drafted QB, but Jacoby Brissett's gonna be our starter. So and I ain't mad at that. Somebody was arguing with me about him, and I was like, he a fucking winner. He was a winner when he left us. In Indy, if he would have kept getting the chance, he was a winner there. Like,
had a weird Andrew Luck retirement, and then he had to get into those games. That was always a weird situation.
Yeah. So I just a third rounder. That's the part that hurts. That's the part that hurts. I know you can find. We're one of those teams that find gems in those late rounds.
Because the first round pick sucks.
Yeah, but because we'll go get a fucking Georgia Southern guard. Still don't know what that was about. So yeah, I think that's the worst part about it. Just getting like a fucking 3rd round pick for somebody with 1st round potential. I'm tripping, Chris, or
I mean, I don't think the Patriots are in the business of winning right now. They drafted a rookie quarterback, and the rumors are that he's going to be behind the 6th rounder that y'all drafted. I know once upon a time y'all drafted a 6th rounder that became the GOAT, but there's been a lot of 6th round players drafted in the history of the sport, and most of them are garbage. So that says, I don't know if that says a lot about Drake May or if that says a lot about y'all's drafting thing. I know I especially gave Belichick a lot of shit for the drafting, but if May's really not that good at the NFL level thus far, then maybe it wasn't 100% Belichick. Maybe it was the scouting department as well.
And that's what I'm getting at. I think, like I said, I think it's up there with Buddy. Fuck, why his name escaped me right now? What's little massage name? Fuck, what's his name?
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Robert Kraft. No. Oh. The son came after Rob. Rob just had more money. I think it's something with him, man. I told y'all, I don't know if y'all remember. I wasn't a fan of the Drake May pick at all. I wasn't. I wanted us to go and get what's his name? The motherfucker from LSU. I wanted us to have him.
Daniel.
Yeah, I want us to have him. It was time to take a different direction. And I know we like this pro style, but shit, we don't got pro style offensive weapons. We need to shake some shit up. We need somebody.
I don't have amateur style offensive weapons.
Exactly. So
well, see, Tonio too. I like that. That's where your head is, because remember when Cam Newton came in there, y'all were acting like Cam was only won 3. Cam won 7 games.
And I told you, Billy, he came and shook shit up, and he was like our number 2 receiver at one point on the team. Yeah. He was doing every fucking thing. I just
that Tim Tebow offense where it was just him in the center of a fucking full house formation and just up the middle. Like, God, he's 30 years old. Stop.
So I'm with Chris. I don't disagree with him. We in that era. Hell, I hope we tank for Shador. Fuck it. It's because it's getting to the point where I don't think that the rebuild is as easy as we think it is. Like, all right, let me take like 2-3 seasons and then I'll be back in contention. A lot of those teams that's been bad are still bad, i.e. Arizona. Like, they went and got their –
those are usually piss poor franchises, though. The good franchises, they don't rebuild, they retool. You look at Philly, they subtract and add numerous new starting level pieces every year. The Rams, it's a couple of teams out there. Pittsburgh does it too, and they stay competitive. They're not at that elite level, but they're a viable playoff contender every year.
But see, Chris, and you're gonna be mad at me, but the difference, the point that we missing, the reason why I said we got to rebuild is one of those key factors in us retooling was Bill Belichick. He gone, so now we got to rebuild to this Jared Mayo, to this era.
Cologne.
You saw what now?
You said Mayo, and I said Cologne.
We got that is somebody did do that. Yeah, no. It's the dude did that, Mayo Cologne. But I think we in the rebuilding phase. But I get it. But if you remember Arizona when Larry Fitzgerald, they wasn't ass. They was, and then they just fell by the wayside, and then they tried to start rebuilding. And they still been rebuilding since.
Yeah, they went with Rosen. He was a disaster. They went with Murray. He's been a disaster, and they still extended him, and he's still not great.
That was my point right there, is that if you look at these rebuilding franchises, like we said with Philly and in Pittsburgh, they don't take quarterbacks before they're supposed to. And if they do, look at the Steelers when they take quarterbacks when they weren't supposed to, i.e. Kenny Pickett. As soon as you do it, you're like, all right, let's go. Philly with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is an MVP candidate. The next year, they were like, well, you kind of suck, so we'll see what's happening. And then he was a disaster again and then got let go. The thing with the Patriots that's going to scare me, Tonio, is if that's what you guys are doing, if y'all continuously draft quarterbacks, and that's the thing, like think about the most piss-poor franchises, like Chris was saying. Look at Cleveland. All they were trying to do, we need a quarterback and we'll get it together. And that's almost never the case. You got to rebuild for these
quarterbacks. Billy, wouldn't you agree, though, the teams that do that are the unstable teams. They're the teams that have constant turnover. So when you get in there, you get that job, you think, I need to win now. And building up a roster to make a quarterback successful is going to take a couple of years. You don't have a couple of years. You have to win now. And a quarterback's your only chance at winning now. But then that creates the self-fulfilling prophecy that we're talking about here.
Or good teams draft a quarterback when they still have their good quarterback, and then they develop them like the Packers have the last 40 years.
Yeah,
Chiefs even did that with Mahomes.
They're the best at that. Yeah, the Chiefs did it because Alex Smith. Yeah, so man, I don't know, and I didn't. My fault, Matt. How do you feel about it? I didn't want to take up all that time.
About what was the question again?
Just us giving Judon for a fucking lollipop.
I mean, I think a third is still good value. You're never gonna get a first for him. I think a second at most, but I think you got a headache out of there. Is he gonna play? Is he not gonna play? You got value for him. Like,
and the Patriots aren't known for holdouts either. So like that would have been a bad little stain if Matt was like, nah, I'm gonna just sit out. Like Robert Kraft, he doesn't fuck around with that. And then let's reverse a little bit. Like I know we're spending a lot of time on this topic, but I think it's a bigger issue than we're thinking, right?
Talk about Atlanta.
What's that?
You want to talk about Atlanta?
Let's get to Atlanta real fast, but let me just cover one thing. So with Robert Kraft and the Patriots, right? And I lost it. Let's go to Atlanta. Damn.
So for me, whenever we did our draft thing where we predicted the first round, I think most of us, if not all of us, thought a pass rusher was going to be Atlanta's choice.
Yeah.
Because we look at that defense, they need secondary help, they need pass rushing help. A good pass rush helps your secondary because they don't have to cover as long. And I think for me, that's along with signing Kirk to that big guaranteed deal, like you're in win now mode, you're in a shitty division, put together a competent roster, you'll win. Maybe this was the plan all along to target a pass rusher on the trade market.
Ooh.
And if that's the case, bravo to them.
Yeah, they won. If that's what they were going, because they still did some dumbass shit. I ain't gonna lie, getting a quarterback.
Antonio, we just talked about it. Instead of having turnover at quarterback, where if Kurt sucks, you're not sitting in that limbo phase where like, oh shit, we got to draft someone. Where you have the person you drafted sitting right there.
I mean, this is a little different situation. Penix is like 25, so you drafted a guy. He's gonna be 30 when he takes it over, and you got 2 years out of him, and he's hanging it up. So.
And he already got and I don't we don't wish no ill will on nobody on this show, but he already got previous injuries that made him less athletic than he was.
Tore both his ACLs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So it's like Kirk, you signed Kirk, cool. Kirk ain't won but one playoff game his whole career. Now if Kirk suck and be like the Kirk that we've seen for the last 11 years, you gonna put Penix in this year? Maybe 2 playoff games. Maybe 2.
I thought it was 2. Keep going, Antonio.
I think we'll see Penix late in games. I don't think they're taking Kirk out of the starting lineup with that contract they signed him to. He's there at least a year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but Kirk first off,
Antonio, it is only one.
It is one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kirk, by the way, just coming off a fucking season-ending injury too. So it's like, man, all right. So I don't know,
man,
but
that's a great transition, Tonio.
Yeah. I'll be trying.
From one former Vikings quarterback with a season-ending injury onto another, do we want to go there now?
We do. We should.
Matt, you want to take this one?
He shall.
Yeah, JJ tore his meniscus, but he wasn't even really slated to start this year anyways. Darnold was always the starter. So.
Do we think that was going to be for the full season, though? Or is
I think so. I said it last year. If Darnold could get a situation with the 49ers, he would be good. He didn't get it because Brock somehow – they're like, oh, it's going to be a year-long recovery. He recovered in 90 days. What the fuck? Yeah.
That was a weird – an elbow is always really scary, especially for a QB, his throwing elbow at that.
Yeah.
And so we I said, and you can Facebook me on this, you guys, but I was like, Sam Darnold is going to be the biggest bust we've seen in a long time. He went to the Jets, and it was like, oh, stamp that bust. And then got to Carolina, started doing some things, and then when Chris McCaffrey got hurt, then it was like, all right, this is a little harder than we thought, and he was playing well. Then he went to San Francisco last year. Even when he got in on the Ravens game, when we were blowing the shit out of them out, Sam Darnold came in and he took over and was like, all right, hey, I got it. Had 2 touchdown drives. And I think with Kevin O'Connell, I think that's something else that we're missing in this piece of all this movement. I think Kevin O'Connell can put him in a lot of positions to kind of get him where you would hope you'd have a younger-ish quarterback kind of going.
And he's still only 27.
Right.
And he's athletic as hell. He can move.
Don't add on that Raven on those 2 touchdown drives, Chris, that I'm talking about. Sam Darnold had 3 rushes for 47 yards.
Sam Darnold, you not remember like that 60-yard run? It was Darnold and Daniel Jones, just 2 white Vicks in New York. It was crazy.
Maybe it's just his size, because I look at him and that was one of the last college games that I remember pretty clearly. The one that he played against Texas. The pass he made where he jumped in the air and threw the ball while floating in the air with no foundation or anything. Like, he's got a great arm. I think his biggest issue is his mechanics are awful.
he takes so long to throw the ball, similar to Tebow did. Unless he can get coached up.
Got a John Fox as a head coach, so it's a little different.
I'm hoping he'll have more. Luck isn't the right word, but I'm hoping the coaching will do right by him and he'll be able to perform a little bit better. I do like Darnold.
Tonio, where do the Vikings sit today right now?
I mean, healthy Justin Jefferson.
Always helps.
Wild card. Wild card.
Nick Mullins threw for 500 yards. Okay.
Yeah. With JJ Darnold's going to throw for 3K easy.
Okay, let me raise this question to you guys. All right, so with McCarthy out, right? I always think this is always a weird spot because now they're in that weird position to where if they don't do so well, they don't take another quarterback, right? And now we have to see JJ next year to see if he's worth anything. So now you got him for 4 more years, and then so you got him for 5 total years. This year is a wrap. Then you got him for 3 years after he has a full season, and you're like, all right, he was pretty good. Now you're 3 seasons in with J.J. McCarthy before you've taken another quarterback. What if Shador's sitting there, and you're Minnesota, and you're sitting there like, what do we, you know what I'm saying? That's just if they're playing bad.
I think it's still really early. I don't think they take a quarterback initially.
That's the door situation is going to be tough, and we'll talk about it once we get into the college season. For a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, because you already know that for the Sanders boys, what you're gonna get, professionalism. You already know what you're gonna get because of who their dad is. So that's an easy pick, man. Just take
coaching very, very serious. Where
you're
not going to be upset when the coach is yelling at them because that's been their life.
I think there is some trepidation with Shador though over ego. I don't remember what the issue was a couple of months ago. I think it was something with his watch thing or something he said on social media where he was talking shit about. I think he was talking shit about.
Yeah.
I think that gave some GM some trepidation.
Yeah,
because that's not very quarterback-y thing to do. And we talked about it at the time. If he's the best quarterback available, I ultimately don't think it's going to matter. But if 1 or 2 guys elevate themselves over this upcoming college season, and it's like you can get Shador or you can get this guy who's maybe just a little bit less talented. I don't know. I think that might hurt his draft value. But I think at the end of the day, if Minnesota's sitting there at the 1 or the 2 and there's a quarterback on the board that people want, I think they just trade out and get picks for it, build that team around JJ.
Yeah, because they were pleased. They were pleased with JJ's preseason performance. They were pleased after he threw that stupid pick. He just started fucking balling, and I was like, "All right."
With Justin Jefferson on the mic, that shit was crazy. Every 2 seconds, oh,
she's always fucking scared.
Yeah. So I don't know. This draft's gonna be interesting this year because I don't think we're gonna have like a quarterback heavy draft. Am I wrong, Matt? You think? I don't think it's gonna be like it was last year at all.
Well, I think last year it was just guys we've watched in college football for 5 years besides JJ finally fucking coming out. It was guys we've known about for a long time. Now it's gonna be back the way it was. Like, oh, this guy's on the scene. He's 20, 21 years old. He's got all the upside, but we don't have the tape on him, which how it's been in the last few years. But just this year, it just came out. Bo Nix, Penix, like, hey, this guy's played 60 games in college football. We know what we're getting.
Bro, there's a lot of quarterbacks this year. Fuck, there was a lot of quarterbacks. But yeah, so I if they're sitting there, Billy, I'm with Chris. I don't think that they're like, hey, you know what, quarterback right now. They like JJ. They like him. Unfortunately, with the sport, y'all played it. Injuries come with it. That happens. Hate it, but it happens. So I don't think once you can get like other positional pieces like in that first round, because their defense will be getting a little bit older. You can go get a defensive player. Next year is going to be a defensive heavy draft. I think.
You got JJ and Hawk, so you really don't need any more weapons on offense. You're straight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't like y'all been saying. You can go get any running back that's a free agent next year.
Defense is really bad too, though.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, fuck a quarterback. If I get a top 5 pick, I'm gonna go get the best defender in the draft. Easily. I'm gonna go get Travis Hunter. Let me put him at cornerback. Like, let me go do that. And hey,
wait, I want to say we've had this argument 100 times. Travis Hunter's playing corner in the NFL. He's not playing wide receiver.
I don't know. We had the conversation, and every time we argue it, the next week he played better at the other position than he played at the other one. So I don't know. It's some GMs. It's like a poll came out, and it's GMs that's 50-50, and then it's like 5 or 6 of them. Like, I don't give a fuck. He can play everything for us, and we'll draft.
Maybe he'll be in a 4-receiver set whenever that's warranted.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but outside of that, he's not going to get many snaps.
He's not playing Colorado where he's playing 100 snaps a game. There's not a chance of
and that's what we're gonna see this year. They winning as college, but we'll talk about it next year about him. But if the Vikings were sitting there for Travis Hunter, I'll go get him. Let's put him on one side, Jay Jetta on the other side. Who y'all doubling?
Yeah.
Both of them winning jump balls.
Let's say you double both, and then Hawk's right there down the
right
middle.
There. Yeah. And you can't tackle me. So it's just like, all right. But yeah, I think the Vikings are in a situation where they should just focus on defense. I know I was talking shit about JJ, but he actually did look pretty decent.
He did. I think that's a heartbreaker too when your guy looks good and you're like, oh, okay, hold on.
Because I think he was gonna take Sam Darnold's spot. That's just me.
Yeah,
that's just me. I think he was going 6 games in. They're gonna be like, you know what?
Hey, the bye week's coming up.
I seen a silly stat that he had thrown the most touchdowns out of any training camp quarterback.
Yeah. I seen that. And then, like Matt said, if Jay Jetta's on the mic hyping him up after every play, who you think he won't throw into him?
He also gave up the JJ nickname to JJ.
Oh shit! Okay.
He just wanted to be called Jetta's officially.
So that shit like that. But hey, Chris, I don't know if you've seen it. I'm pretty sure you have while we sitting here, and this will help us transition into something else. Unless you had something, Billy.
Nope.
Y'all just got Jordan Phillips from the Giants for a 6th rounder, 2026. Y'all got Jordan Phillips and a 7th rounder. How you feel about that? I think it was terrible, but how you feel about it?
He's a guy who can play some snaps.
When he's not injured.
Who's Jordan?
That's about all I can say. He's a defensive tackle.
He played at Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. We're there.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought you were doing Jalen Phillips from Miami. I was like, oh, hold on.
That's an interesting trade. I wouldn't think that the Giants and the Cowboys would trade with each other.
Well, they're not going to trade anybody that's going to contribute to winning. They'll trade some bench guy who's going to start just because we have nobody to play defensive tackle on the team.
Would I be tripping, Chris, if I said, I know we're trying to transition, but now that my mind's kind of going, Chris, would I be tripping to say let's put Dexter Lawrence at D tackle for the Cowboys just to give him a little more, where maybe you're taking away that edge, but maybe you guys got another edge guy that could be decently good?
Dexter Lawrence plays for the Giants. You're talking about DeMarcus Lawrence, I believe.
Yes.
I mean, he would be super undersized. He's only 265. Like, I think him on one side, Mike on the other side, like that creates pressure on the exterior.
I mean, what? It's just Mozzie Smith just needs to step up.
Mozzie Smith should step up, yes. 2nd round pick or 3rd round pick for the
first?
Oh, he was a 1st round pick? What was that? Not this year.
Last year.
Last year, right? Okay. But hey, let's go. We'll stick with the Cowboys, but I'm gonna kind of throw 3 of these guys in here. So there's a big time Jerry Jones quote about CeeDee Lamb. I'll let Chris get into that actual quote in just a second. But CeeDee Lamb is having some contract issues, as is Brandon Ayuk, and then Jordan Addison is having a little different situation, but we'll throw him into the wide receiver group. Ayuk said he didn't want to play for the Patriots. He didn't want to play for the Browns. And I think the 49ers were looking for some kind of compensation for Amari. It was going to be Amari Cooper, and they'd give up their Brandon Ayuk and a early round pick. Pittsburgh was trying to get him pretty heavy, but I don't think Pittsburgh's going to give away anything worth a fuck because they're a smart organization and they know the Niners are desperate.
And they also draft receivers better than anybody else in the league.
Do we think was it Pascal? Who did they take in the first? I think it was. I don't want to mispronounce his name. The white guy from Florida. Is it
Pearsall? Yeah, what the 49ers did, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to be the Brandon Ayuk now if they didn't have him. So I think they set themselves up for understanding how Brandon Ayuk was going to portray himself, which he's doing a great job of.
Well, also, there's no guarantee that Ayuk is what he was last year because he's never been that ever before.
Well, he's Purdy's favorite target. I think that's what we're missing with the 49ers, where it's like, do you have this much faith in Brock where you want to keep his favorite guy around, whereas opposed to Kittle and Debo are taking a lot of those double teams, and then it's like, oh, here's Brandon Ayuk for 47 yards. Like, what do we – you know what I'm saying? So, like, how are the 49ers going to be able to handle that? But like I said, if it's is it Pascal? Anyway, whoever, if he's going to be that guy for Brock now, like
Pearsall.
maybe Brock do it. Pearsall, thank you.
He said that once.
Yeah.
There we go. I know what's going on, kind of. But how do we feel about these wide receivers? We'll go to Chris first for the CD Lamb take.
So the quote that you're referring to last week, Jerry Jones was asked about the contract situation of CD, and Jerry said he didn't have any urgency to get it done. He's since tried to walk it back. I forget the quote he made before this most current one, but it was something to the effect of like, we want to get him signed, but we don't miss him not being here at practice, or something to that effect.
Yeah, and that don't sound like walking it back, Chris.
That was the first one.
I'm getting to it. Then he said that he's conscientiously working on getting the deal done. I think CD should get paid. I think the primary issue you have is the Cowboys have their three best players.
Well, Chris, hold on. You're missing it. On that first quote, CD posted LOL with.
Oh, yeah. He shared the quote, and he posted on Twitter, shared it, and just said LOL. See, I don't think CD's thrilled about Jerry Jones not being super concerned about having the best receiver in the in the camp this year. But the issue with the Cowboys is they're always in salary cap hell because, as we've discussed numerous times before, Jerry Jones always wants to extend the guys that he drafts because he's so worried about his fucking image. And in the case of CD, he's drafted a guy who's borderline top 5, if not top 5 at the position.
Definitely top 5.
The issue is you have your quarterback and a top 2 or 3 pass rusher in the league that you drafted also up for deals. And we see around the league, generally, if you pay a receiver top flight money, you're not paying a quarterback top flight money either. Yeah, there's not the salary cap space.
Let me ask you this,
saw
Chris.
it with Minnesota, like they dismissed Kurt and they signed Justin Jefferson, this JJ. What's up, Tonio?
Do you think, and I know it's like a long shot, but do you think Jerry Jones working some type of backdoor deal with John? Is it John? Who out there? Who out there at the 49ers?
John Lynch.
Yeah, you think he talking to John, his good old friend John, talking about, hey man, let me get Brandon, and he might not pay CD for real. Because I don't think
Jerry, so, because Brandon Ayuk's going to win at least 25.
The Jerry Jones that I know, that I'm privy to, and I know you know better, if one of his players like do some shit, especially like LOL, and somebody explain to him like that, he don't like shit like that. The Jerry Jones I know, he don't like shit like that.
I mean, he traded Amari Cooper after he said Dak Prescott was the white Kirk Cousins because of their loss. But I think CD's at a level where he's so fucking good. I think Jerry is willing to overlook something like that to keep him on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, T.O. was so fucking good.
Jerry kept T.O. around after a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. top 3 receiver ever. I'm keeping him for everything.
Yeah. I mean, he went to, I think it was Buffalo after that and Cincinnati and still had a really good I mean, it wasn't no top receiving years, but
yeah, but if he would have stayed
1 year each with both teams and was just shy of 1,000 yards on both teams and hasn't played since.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. I just feel like Jerry Jones is one of those people, and I could be wrong, that if you try to go back and forth with him, he'll show you that I'm the billionaire in this situation.
Yeah.
I'll cut you.
I don't think he would have walked it back verbally like he did, though, if that was the case.
Point. That's good.
Yeah, that is a good point. But let me ask, so you don't think Ayuk would be something y'all could do?
No.
I don't think salary cap wise you would want to pay if you have CD on the roster. I don't know why you would want to pay a lesser receiver and only save 5 to 10 million cap space.
On top of this receiver, look, I like Brandon Ayuk. I said that he was one of the great picks in that draft, especially getting him in the second round.
And before you go, Billy, there is no way in no realm where I'm saying Brandon Ayuk and CD Lamb same caliber wide receiver.
No.
I want to make sure I just cheaper price, prove a point. That's where I'm going.
No, and I wanted to make. I'm glad you said that because I wanted to also make that clear. But Brandon Ayuk, we don't know if he can do that in another system where CD will succeed in any system. But Brandon Ayuk and Kyle Shanahan's system, we don't know if that's how it's going to kind of go.
It's not just Shanahan's system. We talked about this with Purdy. It's the talent around him. Like if he goes anywhere else to be a 1, his production's going to tank because I don't think he's that guy. I think he's a great 2.
Right,
but if he's the focal point, then
really great 2. Yeah.
Because he's not like them boys in Cincinnati where all of them are 1s. Like he's not one of them. He's not. But I don't know.
Who's the third one? Not T and Jamar. Who's the other one?
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd.
I think he's much closer to Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
T. Higgins.
Yeah, he's not T. Higgins.
And see, I'll raise you the argument. I think he's closer to T. Higgins than a Tyler Boyd.
I don't know, Billy. T. Higgins.
I would take T over him easily. Yeah.
I think T. Higgins would go.
But would you take Tyler Boyd over Brandon Ayuk? That's the question.
Previously, before those other 2 got there, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he proved it before they got there, and they were just really, really, really good. Chris alluded to, we don't know what Ayuk gonna look like outside of this system where he got to get all the attention. Tyler Boyd was getting some of that attention before.
Just enough. All right, so hey, real fast, we'll cover this one, and then we're going right back to Chris. But Brian Daboll, Matt, has lost a little bit of weight, and you seemed pretty excited about that. Let me just raise you one guy. I'm only going to raise you one. I lied. It's going to be 2. When Rex Ryan lost all that weight after those 2 AFC title games, the Jets fucking flundered and fucked up. Now, when Andy Reid has ever been in any position, he has never lost any weight, and he's been amazing his whole entire career.
I didn't say it was going to be a good thing or a bad thing. I was just excited the man lost some weight. He's looking good. He's a handsome young man.
Human being losing.
I'm not saying the Giants are going to be any better by him losing 50 pounds. No.
Well,
they're going to be trash
because they were really good when he was fat, and then they were really bad when he was fat, and then now we're seeing the skinny Daboll. Yeah. We'll see what it's going to be.
They're literally like the Detroit Lions in 2011 where we had a great D line, got a fuck ton of sacks, but then our secondary just gave up 600 yards. That's the Giants.
Okay. All right, Chris, go ahead.
You want the trivia for the week?
Absolutely. Best segment.
Earlier this year, Davante Adams became the 4th player in NFL history to complete his 4th straight year with 100+ catches and 1,000 receiving yards. Can you name the other 3 players?
Wait, repeat it
4
again?
straight years with 100 catches, 1,000 receiving yards.
I'm going to say Mike Evans.
Mike Evans,
1,000 yards, but I don't think he gets 100 catches.
Nope.
Cooper Kupp.
Antonio Brown.
Nope. Antonio Brown is the leader with 6 of those seasons.
Jerry
His last
Rice.
6 seasons in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Jerry Rice missed it by 2 catches.
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin's not on the list.
Chris, one more
Golden
time.
Tate.
Just give me the parameters. Matt, shut the fuck up.
100 catches, 1,000 receiving yards, 4 consecutive seasons.
T.Y. Hilton.
No.
That was a good one, though.
That was good, Antonio. Damn.
They have to be consecutive, too. That's
Wes
the key
Welker.
component. Nope.
Damn.
Julian Edelman.
Reggie Wayne.
Nope, and nope.
Is
Marvin
Y'all want a
Harrison.
hint? Marvin
Is there-
Harrison's on there from 99 to 02.
Torrey Holt.
There's a code on there.
Torrey Holt is not on there.
Isaac
Wes
Bruce.
Welker was close. 5 out of 6 years he fit the parameters, but
Never
1 year in the middle there.
Yeah.
Would Tony
messed up.
Gonzalez count? Or
Ooh.
he's just strictly wide receiver?
I didn't check for tight ends. I will check to see if he's there, but this list
I don't think
specifically
Tony
is for
would have
receivers.
got fucking.
No, he only had 100 catches once.
Yeah.
in
Okay.
04.
Any tight ends fit that list?
Oh,
Right.
Kelsey.
Kelsey, no.
Well, he didn't check.
I'll double check to make sure that it's not tight ends, but it's supposed to be just receivers.
100
My bad.
Yeah,
This
because
is
I don't think Randy Moss was getting 100 catches. He was catching 3
No.
passes for 200 yards. So
Yeah, Randy Moss is
Roddy
on the
White?
list. Yeah, Kelsey has missed it. He had 100 plus catches on even years, and then on the odd years in between, he had 97, 92, 93. So close, no cigar.
Roddy White.
Y'all are missing one more name.
I've got all of them, you fucking idiots.
Steve Largent.
No.
All right.
This guy did it the same season
Devontae
Devontae Adams
Adams.
did it.
Devontae
He
Adams.
just did it earlier. I
Oh,
gave
no,
you
this is the guy we're
Devontae.
talking about, Devontae Adams. Duh.
Yeah.
you said this guy
No.
did it earlier?
The last guy on the list did it the same year that Devontae Adams did it. He just did it a little bit earlier in the season.
D-Hop.
Nope.
What year did he do it?
Yeah. What
Larry
year?
Fitzgerald.
From
Larry
2020 to 2023.
Fitzgerald.
2023.
20.
Nope.
Oh, 2020, 2023.
The season that just concluded this year.
I can't believe Mike Evans went on that
Not
list.
not Justin Jefferson.
And you said Cooper Kupp wasn't on
Amon-Ra
there?
St. Brown's gonna do it.
No.
Cooper Kupp wasn't on the list. That's crazy to say.
Well,
that.
it's 4
Cooper
straight
Kupp's
years.
been
Cooper
injured
Kupp
a
had
lot.
2,
Mike
then
Evans
got hurt.
has never had 100 yard or 100 catches.
Yeah,
Really?
Mike Evans is
Cooper
he's
Kupp's
a
had
deep ball.
injuries. Yeah, Cooper Kupp's only had 1 year with 100 plus catches, and that was the year he got the
AFC or
Triple
NFC?
Crown. NFC. Well,
NFC.
AFC, he started out in the NFC, but the years that he did this was all in the AFC. So there's your
Sounds like
hint.
Brandon
He was drafted
Cooks.
in the NFC.
Brandon Cooks. That's got to be him.
Yeah, that has to be Brandon Cook.
No, he just gets 1,000 yards. Not
Yeah. That's
2020, 2023.
what year was this guy drafted?
Metcalf.
No.
No, not Metcalf.
Oh, Tyler
Fuck.
Lockett.
Tyler, yeah, his
Nope.
fucking teammate. Oh,
This guy was drafted in.
Oh, he was drafted in the
When the
NFC,
fuck was he drafted?
AFC.
He was drafted in 2015.
Damn. All right.
Drafted in the NFC.
Oh, you guys are dumb. He plays for the Bears now.
Keenan Allen.
DJ Moore,
Yeah.
Keenan Allen.
No to both of them.
What?
Look at him, you fucking idiot. You guys are done now.
Hey, I've got 3 of them, so I was trying to throw you guys a bone there.
Well, figure it out. I don't think you got all 3.
Drafted in 2015, plays for drafted NFC, plays AFC now, or do I have that backwards?
Drafted NFC, traded to the AFC, plays AFC now. Keenan Allen missed it by 3 catches in 1 season and then 8 yards in another season.
Last year, who had 1,000 yards? That's what I'm trying to, or 1,000 or 100 catches.
I can, if I gave y'all a hint, y'all would get it almost.
No, we don't want it.
immediately.
We don't want it. We need to figure it out. Matt, get off Google.
I'm not on anything.
Fuck. He play in the AFC now.
Chris, try to give the hint without giving it away.
No, don't give us nothing, Chris. He already gave us. He's in the AFC, Billy. Now you just gotta go through those.
Tyreek Hill.
Nope.
Drafted to the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
The team that traded him to the AFC drafted a first-round receiver the year that they traded him.
That doesn't help.
It's not AJ Brown.
Nope.
Damn, he fit the criteria.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to go. AJ Brown was drafted in 2015, though. That's what's fucking me up.
This dude's pretty good. He had 1,000 yards, but he ain't popping out.
He's one of the best receivers in the league currently. Still. He's probably top 10 on everybody's list. Just go down the list of top 10 receivers.
And it's not Keenan Allen, though. But I don't think of anyone else who just is a catch magnet like that right now. There's not too many guys like that.
Because 1,000 yards, we could do that all day. But it's like, in the AFC.
AFC, NFC. 2015 is throwing me because that's fuck, I'm old.
That's when he was drafted. He'll be 31 this year.
What's his height? What's his height?
6 foot even.
Stephon Diggs.
Son of a.
Fuck you, man.
He was
I got the 3 other.
Chris, he was drafted to the Vikings in the NFC.
That's what he said. NFC and plays in AFC.
Yeah. Drafted by the NFC, traded to the AFC, which was Buffalo. Went to Buffalo the year the Vikings drafted JJ to replace him.
That's okay. Look at that. Damn, that was nice. See, that was nice, Chris. All right.
Damn, bro, that's 100 catches. I guess he.
Okay.
Yep, all of that with Josh Allen. Those 4 years he spent in Buffalo: 127, 103, 108, 107. Almost.
I thought he had 107 catches last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he barely had 1,000.
I thought the motherfuckers was beefing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want the ball more.
You can beef, but if you're the only guy open, I'm still throwing you the ball.
No, but see, that's my thing. Is he was bitching about not getting enough shit. He had 100.
I mean, Devontae Adams has been bitching since he's been to Oakland too, and he's 100 catches both years in Oakland as well.
Look, I'd be pissed if I was in Oakland anyway. That's understandable. I get that.
Well,
that's where he wanted to go.
Why the fuck's he in Oakland?
Well, he also wanted to go there for Derek Carr, and they just were like, nah.
Yep, send him to New Orleans. That's a crazy. Did no tight ends in history ever fit that list, Chris? Or
if really, Kelsey and Gonzalez isn't on the list, I'm not bothering to look at any other tight end.
For a tight end is a little more difficult.
It could have been Jimmy Graham his first few years, but the 100 catch. Those are the three most dominant. Like Gronk was
Jimmy Graham doesn't have 100 catches for his entire in any season in his career. He's only had more than 90 catches one time.
I don't think Rob would ever have 100 catches either.
He was hurt too much, I think.
Rob don't get those kind of touches. 90 is his season high. He was much more of a red zone guy.
Yeah.
I mean, what Uncle Shay was getting, he was the one that started that wide receiver shit.
I'd assume he's probably around 80.
Yeah, but he was a third down machine, not a
81, 87, 80 are his 3 highs. Only had 1,000 yards 3 times.
Yeah.
But that was during an era where the best quarterbacks only passed for 3,000, 3,500 a year. So.
Unless you're Dan Marino.
Yeah. Then you're fucking throwing for 2,000 more yards than the next guy in the league. Absurd.
Dude, Dan Marino.
For people to understand how crazy that is, that'd be like if Patrick Mahomes went out there and threw for 7,000 yards.
Yes.
In 1 year.
I think because Dan didn't win a Super Bowl, and that's kind of what we hang our hats on. Like, Dan Marino will never get the respect that he really what he was doing back then. Like, we didn't watch him. Like, essentially, like we didn't see that shit. And it's like I think he'll
Dan Marino gets respect, Billy. He was in greatest movies of all time.
He gets
Dan Marino threw for 48 touchdowns. The second next passer for touchdowns that year had 32.
Yeah.
He had 33%. Well, if you take the second place, he had 50% more touchdowns than the second place guy.
That's
Just cut
crazy
his
as
number
fuck.
in half, add to it. That's Dan Marino.
Well, shout out to Dan Marino,
big shout out.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2.
See,
Yes,
It's a nice car, Dan Marino. You should buy one of these. Not this one, though, because I'm going to fuck it up, but you should definitely get one like it.
let me know how she drive. Oh, he gonna drive the fuck out of this.
Also, Little Nicky. Let me get some Adam Sandler love. He was
Okay, yeah. But from one, Chris, keep coming with that shit. That shit's good. That's good. But from one segment to Matt's segment, we'll drop right into that. Matt, you ready?
Yeah, I got last week we did the ESPN's fraudulent top 25 of 2000s, even though 6 of the guys played mid 90s. I don't know how they played one bowl game in the 2000s. Fucking stupid. So I did the top 10 quarterbacks of the 2000s. There was some requirements here. Couldn't just be a 1-year darling like Cam Newton, Joe Burrow. You had to be around the 10,000 passing yard mark, 100 touchdowns, and at least 2 seasons played. And it's pretty hard to get to those stats with 2 seasons. So, starting off the list at number 10 here, we talked about him last time. I looked up his stats again. We're starting at 10.
Yeah.
Dan Lefevre. If you don't know about him, go watch a YouTube highlight reel.
Miami?
He made Dan Lefevre.
Dan Lefevre.
Brian Lefevre, Central Michigan University.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the one who made Brian Kelly into who he is now.
Ah, there we go.
3 straight MAC championships. This man had just shy of 13,000 passing yards, 66 completion percentage, mid 2000s. That's fucking nuts.
That is
102 passing touchdowns to only 36 interceptions. That's not terrible. He had 3,000 rushing yards and 47 touchdowns on the ground.
Woo!
The man accounted for just shy of, he had 149 total touchdowns. If you don't know, go fucking watch a YouTube video. I'm not just a Michigan homer here. He's the only Michigan quarterback on this list, all right?
Okay.
And his name cool as fuck.
Dan Lefevre.
Yeah.
Is it Lefevre, dude? I swore it was Lefevre.
You can't
Yeah,
see
man,
it.
I can't see that. Stop. It's not going to let me do that.
There you go.
Who's number 9?
Number 9, we got Landry Jones, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Landry Jones.
I respect it.
A fucking stud. The guy had 16,000 passing yards. Name me a quarterback with more passing yards. Can't do it. 64
Timmy Chang.
power conference quarterbacks. Sorry. I meant to say that. Of teams that matter, right?
No,
That's
for
why,
sure.
That's why Dan was 10.
He was drafted to the Steelers, and I remember being like, fuck. Like, this is like Ben Roethlisberger's old. They're gonna get rid of him, and here's Landry
Great
Jones.
backup for many years, didn't have to do shit.
Yeah, didn't do nothing. Yeah.
Ben was like 34 and was like, I got 5 more years, easy. But he had 16,000 passing yards, 64 completion percentage, 123 touchdowns. It's only 3 rushing touchdowns, but he was just Peyton Manning in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Is what he was.
The last year's that Bob Stoops team too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Number 8 on the list. You know where it's going, Billy. Texas Tech, Graham Harrell.
Oh, what a seat. Hey, look. Because what was it? 2010?
2005 to 8.
To 8. Okay, yeah. Got drafted by, I want to say.
Most of these guys have had a shit NFL career.
Yeah. No. Yeah, because that's what they get.
Yeah.
He was probably fucking in college like nobody's business either, though.
Oh,
After
yeah.
that Texas win,
Throwing to Crabtree. Crabtree was just slinging bitches to him, is what he was doing.
Yep.
But
it's
Graham
the opposite.
Harrell.
You're throwing to me, yeah.
Graham Harrell had 15,000 passing yards, just shy of 16, 70% completion percentage, 134 touchdowns, to only 34 interceptions. He threw 100 more touchdowns and interceptions,
Yeah.
along with 12 rushing touchdowns.
He's the offensive coordinator for West Virginia right now, I believe, also.
Ooh. All right. That was 8. Number 7. Pat White.
Pat was low. That's okay.
Pat White. Hey, Pat White had 6,000 passing yards, 65 completion percentage, so shows that if he passed a little more, he was efficient.
Yep.
He had 56 touchdowns, but then he also had 4,400 rushing yards and 47 rushing touchdowns. So, dude was lights out.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Dude was lights out.
4,400 yards, bro. Rushing.
If Pat McAfee makes that fucking field goal, the West Virginia Mountaineers win the national championship. I believe it was 06. Might have been 07.
All right. Number 6 on the list. Some might like it. Some might not like it. I'm going Phillip Rivers here. Phillip Rivers, 13.
Go ahead. Sorry.
13,000 passing yards, 64% completion percentage, 95 touchdowns. And Phillip, he was scooting.
Okay.
17 rushing touchdowns.
All right.
I didn't write down his rushing yards, but he was a little bit more mobile than how we remember him. He was just a good quarterback at North Carolina State back then. Just kind of came out of nowhere. So
kind of built into their own little, powerhouse of powerhouse.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, I've got Deshaun Watson.
Great career.
I like that.
Arch enemy of Alabama here. 10,000 passing yards, 67 completion percentage, 90 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
Just shy of 2 seasons, or was he there for 3?
He was there for 3, 14 to 16. So I think that's 3 years.
Okay.
2,000 rushing yards, 26 touchdowns. So he could get out of the pocket if he needed to. Absolutely. All right. Next on the list, Detroit Lions legend, Kellen Moore.
Great Boise State career.
Just shy of 15,000 passing yards, 70% completion percentage, 142 touchdowns to 28 interceptions. Only 28 interceptions.
Damn.
He also had 3 rushing touchdowns for a 5'10", 150-pound guy.
I'm surprised at this one, Matt. I ain't gonna lie.
You think it's too high for Kellen Moore?
No, I thought he was gonna be number 1. I didn't.
You thought he'd be number 1 on my list?
I know who's number 1.
I mean, I do too. I see the name, but
wait, what? Oh, you seen it already?
Yeah. He ain't seen this.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
All right.
But I don't know. He just had a great career, I think.
After Kellen Moore, we've got lightning in a bottle here. Lamar Jackson, 9,000 passing yards.
Respect.
Yeah.
Terrible completion rate, though, 57 on this list. It's probably the worst.
So, hold on. Before we talk about the completion rate, Louisville had the most drops when Lamar Jackson was the quarterback for the Louisville Cardinals.
Hey, I'm not here for all that. That's excuses.
That's his going. That's the going theme of his life, man.
There is a stat here that almost made me put him number 1. He finished his career here with 69 passing touchdowns, 250 rushing touchdowns. You thought Pat White was good?
Yeah,
he's next level.
50.
All right? 50 rushing touchdowns.
Damn.
and it's crazy. So let me just roll it back real quick, because in college, the running quarterbacks, they're gonna run the fucking ball. He got 50, where you're like, hey, we got to make sure he doesn't run the ball.
I can still back up, but Denard Robinson had 60-some rushing touchdowns.
Did he really?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he couldn't throw the ball.
I was comparing. I was looking. I was like, do I want to put Denard on here? And I was looking at the other rushing quarterbacks I have on here. I was like, only if he threw a little bit more. He's got these guys rushing by a shit ton. These guys' rushing numbers suck. But
did Denard have Braylon Edwards, or is that way too early? Am I tripping?
That's too early.
That's too early. Okay.
He had Roy Roundtree, Junior Hemingway, and Jake Butt. I don't even think he had Jake Butt. He did not have Jake Butt.
No, Jake Butt was still there for the.
But he had Taylor Lewan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had. Yeah. All right. And then next on my list is Baker Mayfield.
Really? That low at 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield's at 4. 14,000 passing yards, 69 completion percentage. Nice. All right.
Yeah.
131 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, 100 more touchdowns and interceptions. He also had 1,000 rushing yards and 21 rushing touchdowns.
I thought Baker was going to be number 1.
No.
If we're doing career, Baker, amazing.
Number 2, we got Vince Young. He met this threshold barely, but since he barely met it, I couldn't put him lower than this. All right. Vince Young. Wait, no, Baker was 3.
Oh, was he 3? Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking, fuck, my number 1 is my number 2. I don't have a number 1.
Yeah, I was confused. I was just gonna keep rolling.
No, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah. Vince Young, 6,000 passing yards, 62 completion percentage, 44 touchdowns. But he had 3,000 rushing yards, 37 rushing touchdowns. But it's the level of competition he did this against. This is not Dan Lefevre doing it in the MAC. This is Texas in the heat of Texas being Texas.
Right.
This was Texas.
Yeah.
All right.
This was playing Nebraska. This was playing like Oklahoma. This was Oklahoma State. This was This
was when Oklahoma was producing every linebacker it was that would knock your fucking head off. Jesus Christ.
And then number 1, it's easy. You guys could say it. It's Tim Tebow taking knee.
I was about to say, Billy, Baker over Tebow is crazy.
I don't know if I have to go into the stats, but better completion percentage than Lamar, than Vince, more passing yards, more rushing, 57 rushing touchdowns, by the way, to his 88 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it's Tim Tebow. I'm not going to dive into that too much. We all know what Tim Tebow did.
Right. Went to New York 3 fucking times for the Heisman.
That's insane. Let me ask you this, Matt, before we get on to it. Let me ask you this. Is it any people that you was like, I want to put you on the list, but I can't, that you was just like, fuck, I want to put him on the list? Like,
yeah, I had some. Let me pull up my honorable mentions here. Obviously, Cam Newton, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow actually had a lot more passing yards than I thought. He did play a little bit more. He had 8,000 passing yards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had 3 NFL receivers. Yeah, that would help a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, we all know him for his 1 season, but he did play sparingly, throughout his career. Cool. Let me see. So Cam Newton. We just talked about Joe Burrow. Marcus Mariota. He kind of. I thought about it.
Yeah.
But I think it was a Chip Kelly offense. Like, I don't want to be like, hey, he's a fucking scheme guy. He was a fast quarterback in a faster offense. Like, that was a peak time of college football, I think, of Oregon just read option on every single play. It could be a pass, could be a run. It was just no one had seen something like that on a level with that much talent. So he's an honorable mention. I probably would have had him like 11, 12. He's still up there. I'm not going to knock him too bad for it.
Did any Ohio
Manziel didn't meet the criteria?
What?
Manziel didn't meet the criteria, I'm assuming?
He was only 2 seasons, and he didn't have close to 10,000. Or, I mean, he was close to 10,000. He had 9,000 total yards, but I needed like 95
you were trying to make it
change.
I got you.
Yeah.
I needed like careers. Like, I'm talking careers. I'm not talking about because Johnny Manziel redshirted and then just came out and was like fucking lit up the scene for 2 seasons. Was like, I'm out.
Yeah. Did any Ohio State quarterback, Braxton Miller, JT Barrett, any of the guys who stuck around for a long, elated time?
No, those guys all fucking sucked.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Dwayne Haskins would probably be the closest one that I might have thought about putting on here. Started as a true freshman to his junior year, but he was by far the best quarterback Ohio State has had at Ohio State. Like, CJ Stroud was good. I would put Dwayne above CJ Stroud.
Well, because Dwayne beat Michigan every time also.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, we had fucking stupid ass. I watched the interview, Joel Klatt, Ryan Day of how they beat us with that one. They put up like 69 on us, like just the crossing routes. They only beat us because of Don Brown fucking sucked and wouldn't adjust.
Yeah,
That's
like,
the entire time. Like our offense, we put up points, but it was like we can't score 80 points because Don Brown won't fucking do it. Gets fired, goes to Ohio State. Insider job. Tell me he wasn't fucking cheating.
Hell yeah, that was fun too.
Yeah, next week, I don't know if he can hear us, but next week we'll get Chris's top 10 running backs. College. This should be an interesting list. I'm gonna let y'all in on something for you SEC haters. Most of them gonna come from the SEC. Just letting you know.
Running backs, it should just be Wisconsin. I told you this last week.
Well, it's only 3 of them, and then you got 7 more, man.
After we finished last episode, you know, there's only 2 running backs ever to win the Doak Walker Award twice.
Both of them from Wisconsin.
Ball.
No, I mean one of them is I think it was Herschel Walker, but then in Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a wild Wisconsin stat. All right.
No.
Hey, we'll stay in college football. I don't know if Chris is coming back for this one, but I'll go ahead and take it over. We're picking our winners of the divisions. This year's going to be is the SEC and the Big Ten. Hey, they're not fucking around. This is going to be a very interesting year for college football. We'll take some winners, and I'm gonna probably not. I don't know if this is going to shock anybody. Maybe it'll shock Tonio. The SEC winner this year is going to be Ole Miss.
It didn't shock me, and I'm going to go with you off of the strength of how good we are. I was deep diving into what Matt said about 2 weeks ago about how DeBoer made that Washington offense look with 2 and 3 stars, and now he got all 5 stars. So he should be able to make that offense look really well. So I want to see where they're at in their secondary. If their secondary is not good, and I was talking to Butler about that, when you get rid of a Kool-Aid and a fucking Arnold, you're not bringing nothing in that's going to be close.
And you don't have Nick Saban to coach up your lower guys.
Well, they stole Keon Sabb from Michigan, so fuck them.
But is he coached up enough?
Yeah, he was a start. He was a star of the college football playoffs. He fucked up Alabama. He got a pick versus them, and then he got a pick versus Washington, I think.
That's the dude that you said was the best cornerback in the league, Matt. And I told you,
no, that's Will Johnson. He's the one first play of the game picked off Marvin Harrison, bullied his ass.
That's disgusting. Yeah. So if
edit that out,
I think we'll have a top 5 offense next year, and it's going to be a passing offense. If they don't have any answers for Trey Harris next year, then we beat Alabama. I don't have any faith in Brian Kelly like you do, Billy. So LSU would be the second best team that we play, but we gotta play Georgia, so we would see them early. And we give Georgia a game, we win that division. We win that.
And that's what went into my winner, like why y'all would win is y'all haven't, like, I don't want to say an easy schedule, but
easier than
especially this year in the SEC,
yeah. So it's an easier schedule. So I'm with that. On the other side, I got Georgia by a landslide. I don't know. Everybody's saying Texas is gonna come in there because Sark was under Saban, but ain't none of these Sabanettes better than Kirby. None of them. Yeah. He's the best one. So yeah. All right. For the SEC, I do got Ole Miss in the West and Georgia in the East. Matt, who you got?
I'm not really in tune with who's East and West, but I know
West, East. Oh, it doesn't?
It's the best 2 records of the SEC.
Oh yeah, so it's us in Georgia. All right, I'm going us in Georgia.
But it still fit, so I was gonna let it go. But then Matt,
I'm gonna go Georgia, and then I'm gonna throw out
Texas.
I'm gonna throw out Missouri's SEC, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Missouri.
Okay.
I like that. Missouri's really good. Quietly, really
Sleeper.
good. They could have beat Georgia last year.
Best wide receiver in college football. If you can just get him the ball and keep him healthy, you're going to win games.
I got him in NCAA. He transferred to Charlotte for me, and just a dog.
You stole him,
Chris.
We pay players.
I know you'd be skipping this part, but I know you know the SEC and your boys in there, so I know who. Georgia and Texas for Chris. I already know. Yeah.
I don't know enough about college football to give like the in-depth analysis like y'all do. So Georgia's been the best team in the nation for feels like as long as Alabama
years.
was.
Yeah,
they're the new Alabama at this point, and then Texas is my team, and they're good enough to where I can say it, and I won't be like, "What the fuck is that dude talking about?" So I'm gonna go Georgia and Texas.
Yeah, I respect it. I do think that Sark's SEC background will help him be good in the SEC.
I think the physicality is going to be a rude awakening, but I think talent-wise, I think Texas has the talent to compete. I just don't know how they're going to react to the physicality of that conference.
So y'all are talking physicality. I think with Texas, and I'll stand by this for forever. The target on their back for them going to the SEC is going to be huge. It's going to be a big deal. Teams will go into every game against Texas and be like, "You do not belong." Like it's going to be like the lower schools, like a Florida or whoever when they play Texas.
Oh, you're saying Texas is Caitlin Clark, the NCAA?
Yes, and they're going to be.
And I get that, Billy. I think, like you said, I nobody would be able to tell me different because that team just flipped the switch after the Texas game. They told Nick Saban take 2 dives when they played Texas. Hey, bro, you win this one by a little bit. And then this next one, you got to lose it for us. We got you $20 million. We need that. We need that Texas money in the SEC, and we got it. They came 2 years earlier. And Chris, I know you know Texas college money is insanely insane. So, and then that brought for the SEC. Since I've been coaching, that just opened up another pipeline for a lot of those SEC schools to be like, oh, let's jump in these Texas waters and let them know, hey man.
Like A&M was dabbling for a long time. They've had so many great recruits, and I think Texas is going to be like, oh, hey, now you have on top of the brand of Texas, on top of the SEC, it's gonna be wild to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy because Texas A&M, don't get me wrong, they had that bread too. That 1 year they signed like what? They had the most 5 stars. They had
3 years in a row. Texas A&M has signed the most 5-star talent.
Yeah. They got the NIL money and left, but shit.
Was Bobby Brown was he a 5-star recruit?
I want to say Bobby was a 4-star.
Okay.
I want to say he was a 4-star because they moved to Texas. So he was out there. They pulled him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Billy, who's your team? My fault. We got off.
No, you're good. All right. So now we got the Big Ten. I'm going to go to Matt first after I say Ohio State, and I'll let him say that it's not going to be Ohio State.
It's not. It's going to be Oregon and Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Followed by Penn State.
You think Ohio State just falls all the way off?
I don't think Will Howard's that good, right? They've got that transfer from Alabama who's probably better than Will Howard.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Ohio State, all their big games really are on the road besides Michigan. Like they go into Penn State. I'm pretty sure they go to Oregon. You see what happened last year when they went to Notre Dame and barely squeaked out a fraudulent win versus them, and they're going to better teams now this year. So
I think Ryan Day owns Penn State, though. I don't think.
Yes. I think Penn State is the most overrated college program in the NCAA. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're just good enough to keep a good game versus all the best teams. But eventually, James Franklin's got to figure it out. Which either he should just get fired because he recruits well.
It's been like 5 years now, though, Matt, and you can't fire him because he's going against Michigan and fucking Ohio State. Y'all getting the better recruits. Y'all getting the easier schedules.
Penn State recruits better than Michigan.
Y'all getting the easier schedules. I ain't seen y'all play no SEC team in the last 5 years in season.
Look at this schedule this year, Slick. It just
Michigan
happened to
didn't
come a
play.
year late.
That's you making my point, Billy. Penn State has. Ohio State
No,
Michigan.
You dismissed it when they went to Auburn. You said that's Auburn.
Yeah, but it's an SEC school.
You can't
different.
use it now.
It's something different. They not playing the little
When
bitty
Penn State went
schools y'all
down and
be
beat
playing.
the brakes off Auburn.
Well, they trash. They wouldn't beat them now. They got God's kick back on the side. Hugh Freeze beat them. But I think I don't think I'm just alluding to the firing that you want. You can't fire.
No,
you can't fire. He's been the third best in that conference, man. That's like firing fucking. No, man.
No,
bro.
Who are you going to get at Penn State that's going to do better than James Franklin? The answer is nobody. Is the answer.
I don't know. Who's going to be the defensive coordinator of Georgia this year? Take that fucking guy.
No, Matt. That's just like saying we should fire fucking
it's Penn State.
It don't matter, Matt. Like it's Lane.
Matt
We should
Campbell,
fire Lane.
There's so many better coaches than James Franklin.
Matt, am I firing Lane for winning 10 games and losing to Alabama and Georgia? I'm not fucking firing him for that. It's Alabama and Georgia. It's the same thing for y'all conference.
He lost like fucking 8 games with the best quarterback the last 8 years.
Who?
Did he lose to C.J. Stroud?
What?
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were talking about James Franklin. I was like, he lost to C.J. Stroud and Jim Harbaugh and J.D. McCarthy. I mean, what do you want this guy to do? Is he supposed to win national championships? He's not. That's not the point. And I've been saying that it's the Nick Saban effect, where you're sitting here like, oh, well, my team's not winning the national championship. If you're in the Big Ten, oh yeah, James isn't winning the Big Ten.
No,
okay,
I'm not saying. No, we're acting like Penn State is like Kansas State, where it's like, hey, they get 10 wins, great. It's fucking Penn State.
Penn State has won since '84. What do you mean?
What I'm saying, there's a handful of just great colleges in the nation, right, that you could win a national championship at, and Penn State's one of them.
That's not true.
Yes,
they're not one of them, Matt. They're not one of them.
They have the best home field environment in college football.
No,
they have a great recruiting bed. There's no reason to not be a national championship contender from Penn State.
The best home field probably it ain't Penn State, bro. It's
Penn State whiteout.
Nobody care about that. That shit not winning them no games. They don't white it out. Y'all a lot of years, man. Y'all still beat them. They don't white it out Ohio State.
Okay, but you're not understanding what I'm saying at all.
I'm hearing you.
They've got all the components to be it. Whereas Kansas State, they win 10 games, but they don't have that. You don't go to Kansas State and be like, God damn, that fucking whiteout. It's going to be rocking in there. No, we're going into Kansas. They got a good team. It's not going to be loud. We're probably going to beat them because it's our fans are going to travel there, fill up their seats.
I feel like that's just every SEC school though, man. The fans travel, they fill in the seats. They just don't do all that whiteout shit because they mostly racist people. They're not doing that. It's not wearing no specific color. Okay. But because you can say the same shit about Death Valley, man. I can go into Death Valley and they cause fucking tremors. And people, you don't think people think about that, but they got a dumbass coach, so we can't use that. I just don't think that James.
That's the exact opposite. That's the exact opposite. I mean, that's like a same situation. They've got all the things. They've got the recruiting bed. They've got the environment. They've got a dumbass coach. That's the same thing with Penn State.
Yeah,
they've
but
got
nobody. Brian Kelly not getting fired though, man. They not finna fire Brian Kelly because they don't got nothing better. Well, they gonna go back and get Ed Orgeron?
You don't need a recruiter there. You just need some guy who knows ball to go in there and just coach. Players are gonna go to LSU. Players are gonna go to Penn State. You don't need a recruiter. You don't need a good guy who can get you players. They're just gonna come.
I don't see Penn State upending y'all or Ohio State no time soon. And now maybe not even Oregon.
I'm not saying they're going to upend. Oregon's going to probably be the top team in the Big Ten. I'm just saying I'm not trusting Will Howard. Yeah, Ohio State has.
Oh, no. So, and I get that. I know.
I'm not saying that Penn State's going to take off on a 10-year run. I'm just saying they have all the experience. They have a ton of returning players. Like, they're going to be good this year,
Matt,
just like they were last year.
When is the last time Penn State beat y'all, Matt?
Like 3 years ago, 4 years
4
ago,
no.
before JJ.
So the last time that Penn State did well in the Big Ten was 2016. You know who the head coach was? Was fucking Billy O'Brien. 2016, they were 8-1 in the Big Ten, and then 2017, 7-2, 2018, 6-3, 2019, 7-2, 2020, 4-5, 2021, 4-5, 2022, 7-2, 2023, 7-2. Where did those two losses come from, Matt? The last 2 years?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is
to Michigan and Ohio State.
He can't
the
beat
top two.
This program that you're acting like is this fucking wonderful program, and it's like, and I'm shocked that Tonio has taken what he's taken. It's Ole Miss. You're not beating Alabama,
and Georgia.
Not.
That's our last year, Matt. Best season in our fucking history.
I don't think we're on the same page of what exactly I'm saying.
You're saying Penn State should win is in the conversation of national championships.
I did not say. I said
you said they got the components. They have the components.
Yeah, they have the components. They don't have the coach, but they're going to be all I said was Penn State is going to be third in the Big Ten, and then you guys blew this out of proportion.
Well, them being third over Ohio State is insane. That's probably why.
That's where
that don't make sense. I don't give
because
a fuck
of Ohio State's. Yeah, they have big games. Ohio State. I explained it. Ohio State has big games on the road. They play Oregon at the road. They play Penn State on the road, I believe. The only home game of their big games is Michigan.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt. Does Ohio State, take your bias out, does Ohio State not have the best running back in the country now?
Yeah, Travion Henderson.
Okay.
It's not Judkins. We've gone over this plenty of times. It's not Judkins. It's Ollie Gordon is the best running back in the nation by far. And he just got a DUI, and his coach is standing up for him. That shows how good he is.
That's all coaches now, Matt. Motherfuckers,
motherfuckers
died
1,000 times.
Kirby was at court, and some people died, and he was like, "Oh, they outstanding guys." That's everybody, bro. Like nobody care. They want.
All right, Tony, we got to move on. The Big 12. All right. A lot of new moving pieces. You got Arizona, Arizona State, BYU, Utah coming into the Big 12 as Texas and Oklahoma leaves. But honestly, here it is. Oklahoma State is set up here to win the Big 12. You could say Utah because Cam Rising, what did you say, Matt? He's as old as us. Hey, life experience happens. Utah would have been so much better had Cam Rising been playing. I think Kyle Whittingham did a great job without having him. Tony, am I tripping?
Yeah.
That's the only they're going to win that conference.
Hey, man. I know I'm going to sound like a fool because I sounded like one last year, but I sounded like a fool the first year he was in Jackson State and they lost, and then the next year they came and won the SWAC. Give me Dion. 2 Heisman hopefuls on the same team.
Winning the Big 12, not just getting to the championship game, winning the Big 12.
It's 2 teams, right? 2 teams.
I only picked one for the other 2. This is the only conference I got 2 teams.
So I got Colorado and Utah is so good to me.
The 2 new or who's out there? Okay.
I like Utah, but I also can't disrespect Oklahoma State. But they did just lost Una Lego, didn't he leave? Who's that quarterback last year?
No, Alan Bowman.
Bowman.
He's played at 6 different colleges.
Yeah,
he's also old as shit.
He killed it last year, too. He was really good last year.
I'm going Utah then. Yeah, I'm going Utah, Colorado. Matt, who you got?
I completely forgot that Arizona joined the Big 12. But I'm going to go
Fish, though, too. You got to remember that.
Yeah, but that team is so talented, though.
I know the team's talented. Yeah, I just think that losing their head coach is kind of a big deal.
Utah's definitely going to be in the championship game. I'm going to go Arizona. I was going to say Oklahoma State, but I'm going to go Arizona. And then,
Chris, you want to take something or you want to pass?
I'll pass. I don't even know who's in the conference anymore.
about
All
14,
right.
16 teams.
We'll go to the ACC. I'm gonna take. It's gonna be Florida State and SMU at the end of the year. Is me.
Who you got, Matt?
Clemson. Outright. Not even. I mean, it's going to be close. Florida State. I was high on Florida State last year.
You
and
were?
then some injuries fucking derailed my fucking dreams.
Well, you
but
had Clemson and Florida State in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was a little
Just wanted to throw that out.
miscombobulated, but I was still right at the end of the day. All right.
Right.
I'm going
and-
Clemson. I think Dabo's been building in house. He's been retaining people. Not many people have left Clemson, so they have an experienced team, and he's just been building his team. So I'm going to say Clemson.
I'm going to go Florida State because I think the opposite of what Matt just said about Dabo. I think two really talented quarterbacks and two really, really well-recruited classes had Dabo looking like the next Nick, and once they left, he was just out here looking like a regular Joe.
First year, the transfer portal was bad too. It was Air Force, Navy for transfers, and then Clemson. Like that is a wild fucking stat to me.
So I'm gonna go Florida State. I feel like they feel like they got some shit to prove again. After getting railroaded because Matt picked well, but unfortunately the quarterback to lead them there wasn't there, so they were never getting in. And that's just the way that
the world works. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going Florida State outright. And Matt, I'll bet you a case of Fagos that Clemson is ass.
Yeah, but I do have a feeling that none of us are going to be right about this pick.
That could be also true.
I think Miami is the one everyone's sleeping on. They've also got an ancient quarterback coming to Miami. So they'll have a steady quarterback for the first time in forever.
We say that shit every year about Miami.
Bingo.
Miami's back.
Miami is just
Yeah, but it's different. Fucking Mario Cristobal left Oregon, what he was building there, to go to Miami once that job opened up. Like, he was a good coach at Oregon. I just think if it's going to be any year, it's going to be this year. If not, hey, we're back to Miami's the Cowboys of college football.
No, and I think that's what I'm saying though, Matt. It's like I don't want to discredit Miami because they're a great team, but it's just I need to see you do it before I'm going to say that you're going to do it. It's like me with Texas this year. I think Texas has a great chance to do it this year, but I haven't seen last year when Texas did what they did.
No, I agree.
Right.
I agree. That's why I didn't pick them, but I'm just saying if I had a number two, I was like, we're all wrong. It's fucking Miami. So if we can roll the tape back, I picked here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Miami.
No, and I respect that. Next week, we're gonna do the non-Power 4 schools. We'll go ahead and take the Mountain West, the MAC, the American Conference.
Action, baby.
Let's do the Pac-12, Billy.
MAC. The Pac-12. I guarantee, and I will guarantee, you can stamp it $1 billion. It will be Oregon State, Washington State for the Pac-12 title. Stamp it right now.
I got it. I will second and double down.
Okay.
Real quick, do we not think they're gonna make them go somewhere else? Like,
I think
that's so crazy. That's like Notre Dame, but they just get to keep that rivalry. They're independent, but they're gonna play each other every year. Like, it's almost kind of smart.
I wonder too if Notre Dame, and this is obviously conspiracy. I wonder if Notre Dame goes to the Pac-12. And then the Pac-12 kind of absorbs that Mountain West and then makes it a Power 5 again, to where Notre Dame finishes well and they still can get a first-round bye now because they're in the quote-unquote Power 5.
Is Boise State still in the Mountain West, or they joined the Big 12?
No, Boise State's still in that West. They won't be able to join the Pac-12 because of their academic standards.
That's so stupid. That's the only thing stopping them from being a powerhouse. Everyone wants to play on that blue field and those uniforms.
Dude, the blue field.
There's nothing. Bro, they've got everything but just the college itself. But they do have that quarterback from USC, that former 5-star number 1 overall recruit.
Yep.
Sophomore. He's going to light it up.
This has been a great show. We got 2 segments for y'all next week on I'll take over one. If you guys made it to the end of the show, we'll do some more college stuff because that's right around the corner. We got 2 weeks left till week 0. Always a fun time. Next week, I am going to raise the question of quarterbacks in the NFL. We got our guys on their last stand with where they're at. Let's just to raise some stuff. The Giants, the Titans, they're going to need another quarterback next year. The Seahawks, even the Rams, we're looking at. Stafford just came off with a hamstring this week from practice. The Cowboys, are they going to sign Dak Prescott? Just to give you guys a kind of an interlude to next week.
And Chris will give us his top 10 college running backs from the 2000s to now. Wait, 2010s or 2009?
2000s.
Yeah.
From January 1st, 2000 to today.
And then I have the surprise segment for next week. It's mainly going to be a Chris and Matt segment, Antonio, just to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
Because it'll be about baseball.
You
That's
could
what
have
he's
just
saying
said it was
without
going to be a
saying it.
baseball segment.
But
Stick talk is what we like to say.
this has been a great show. I thought this was a really sweet fucking show. We just need to come up with the title in our after show, and then we'll see you guys next week though. Appreciate it.